Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jerry Jones indicates that Dak Prescott is probably heading to injured reserve, but the Dallas Cowboys owner remains hopeful about the team's season. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones confirmed that quarterback Dak Prescott is likely headed to injured reserve due to a strained hamstring, which will keep him out for at least 4 games. However, Jones made it clear that the Cowboys are still looking to improve their team, not give up on their season. During his radio show on trade deadline day, Jones mentioned the Cowboys had made a trade with the Carolina Panthers, acquiring wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, though he did not mention Mingo by name. The Cowboys will give up a 2025 fourth-round pick and a 7th-round pick to complete the deal. "We're not selling," Jones said. "We're buying and not selling." Prescott got injured in the second half of the Cowboys' 27-21 loss to Atlanta. With a tough schedule ahead, including a game against NFC East rival Philadelphia on Sunday, the Cowboys, 3-5, are facing a challenging stretch of 4 consecutive games against teams with winning records. Jones commented on Prescott's recovery, saying, "It's an extended period of time here. I wouldn't dare make a prediction when it could be. We'll see kind of how his rehab goes." In Prescott's absence, Cooper Rush will take over as starting quarterback, just as he did in 2022 when the Cowboys went 4-1 while Prescott was out with a thumb injury. Rush also filled in for Prescott in 2021 and won a game during that time. Jones acknowledged that Prescott's injury is another tough blow for the team, which is currently on a 3-game losing streak, its first since 2020. "There's no question that Dak's injury is a setback," Jones said. "But we've seen Cooper do it. We know what we need to do, the strategies on the offense. We just need to come together game by game, use all of our players to the extent that it helps us." The Dallas Cowboys, who are the defending NFC East champions, are already 3 games behind Washington and Philadelphia in the division. The Commanders, 7-2, are one of the teams Dallas will face in a tough 4-game stretch against teams with winning records. Dallas' game against Washington will be the only away game in the next 5 for the Cowboys, who are currently 0-3 at home. If Prescott is placed on injured reserve, he won't be able to return until after the Cowboys' 5-game stretch, with the next potential game being December 9 against Cincinnati. Jerry Jones said he expects 2-time All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons to return for the game against the Eagles after missing 4 games due to a high ankle sprain. Coach Mike McCarthy also mentioned that Parsons is expected to practice on Wednesday for the first time since the injury. The Cowboys could also soon see the return of All-Pro cornerback Darren Bland, who set an NFL record last season with 5 interception returns for touchdowns. He had surgery for a stress fracture in his foot during the preseason and is close to making his season debut. Jones emphasized that the Cowboys will need to pull together as a team to succeed despite the challenges. "We're going to have it from within to get where we all want to go," Jones said. "We're going to have to do something that's a storybook type of scenario." Ravens, Chiefs could sign Cowboys cut cornerback. The Ravens, Chiefs could sign Cowboys cut cornerback Andrew Booth this season. According to reports, Dallas is moving on from Booth to make room for newly acquired Jonathan Mingo to bolster their receiving core. The Cowboys got Booth in a trade last season with the Minnesota Vikings, but now is available to sign with any team. Booth's release isn't surprising since he never got the chance to play behind Trayvon Diggs and Darren Bland for the team's secondary. Originally selected in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Clemson product still put 6 total tackles in 3 games while playing 38 defensive snaps. Booth may not have made an immediate impact, but he's still a reliable depth piece for any team looking for a new cornerback. Before, he was heading towards as the staple during his days in Minnesota, playing alongside Lewis Klein. However, the 24-year-old may not have an interception in the record books, but teams looking for solid depth won't need him to make an immediate impact. Booth will likely be a third stringer at best for a team's secondary that's struggling to stay healthy. He's a fine consolidation prize since the NFL trade deadline is over. Don't expect it to be a big-time signing, but one to see what he could do in a new lineup before the playoffs potentially. Despite not getting Marshawn Lattimore, the Ravens were able to trade for Tre'Davious White to salvage the cornerback position. This was a need for Baltimore after giving up more than 2,000 passing yards this season. The Ravens were holding their breath for rookie Nate Wiggins to thrive in the secondary, but the team didn't expect much since they knew he was going to go through growing pains. White is an excelling addition for the Ravens' defense, but due to his strong history of injuries, they probably want to keep him fresh for the postseason. Baltimore can't afford to put White as a full-time starter, so someone like Booth as a cheap accommodation may be useful to help the team's depth. Guys like Brandon Stevens have been inconsistent, so it's just Marlon Humphrey who makes impactful plays, but he's banged up. White will try to help those problems, despite having plenty of issues himself staying on the field. Booth isn't the final solution for the Ravens' secondary woes, but it's a band-aid to help White's transition in Baltimore. The Chiefs found another way to win, moving them to 8-0, despite having issues in their secondary and passing game. Kansas City knew they had these issues, but it doesn't affect their matchups this regular season. However, each game has been a nail-biter for them, so it's sooner rather than later they'll get their first defeat. While they addressed the pass rush and receiving core trading for DeAndre Hopkins and Josh Uche, the Chiefs have yet to find help for the secondary. They were looking to add Lattimore before the Commanders got him. This means they're still on a hunt for a cornerback ever since trading L'Jarius Sneed this past offseason. Booth is no superstar, but some extra depth Trent McDuffie could be beneficial for the long term. He is no game changer, but they'll likely just want him to rotate around. Jerry Jones says Dak Prescott likely out at least 4 games with IR move because of hamstring injury. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is likely to miss at least 4 games with a move to injured reserve because of his strained hamstring, owner Jerry Jones said Tuesday. Prescott sustained the injury in the second half of a 27-21 loss to Atlanta. The Cowboys, 3-5, play NFC East rival Philadelphia, 6-2, on Sunday, the second of 4 consecutive games against winning teams. It's an extended period of time here, Jones said on his radio show. I wouldn't dare make a prediction when it could be. We'll see kind of how his rehab goes. Cooper Rush will replace Prescott, just as he did when the Cowboys went 4-1 in 2022 with Prescott out after breaking a thumb in a loss in the season opener. Rush also won a game in 2021 filling in for the 2016 AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. Prescott's extended absence is another setback in a season full of them for the Cowboys, who are on their first 3-game losing streak since 2020. Dallas played the last 11 games of that 6-10 season without Prescott after he broke an ankle. There's no question that Dak's injury is setback, Jones said. But we've seen Cooper do it. We know what we need to do, the strategies on the offense. We just need to come together game by game, use all of our players to the extent that it helps us. Jones said he expected 2-time All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons to return against the Eagles after missing 4 games with a high ankle sprain. Coach Mike McCarthy has said Parsons would likely practice Wednesday for the first time since the injury. Asked if the Cowboys would be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, Jones said, "We're buying and not selling." He added that a receiver was coming in a trade. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.